Jeremy Clarkson, if you remember, he said that he hates Meghan Markle on a cellular level. Well, that comment, amongst many others, has now gotten him in trouble with the British government, who is investigating him under claims of harassment and discrimination. I kid you not.
Wow. Yeah.
It says Jeremy Clarkson, host of the Amazon show The Grand Tour, made the remarks in his Sunday column last December after the release of Prince Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary. And remember, just yesterday we were talking about how they're threatening to ruin romantic comedies for us as well. So I'm with him here. So it says the UK newspaper regulator, the Independent Press Standards Organization, has taken forward a complaint that claims Clarkson's column breached its editor's code of practice. The IPSO spokesperson told Newsweek, IPSO can confirm we are investigating a claim from the Fawcett Society under Clause 3, harassment, and Clause 12, discrimination. I don't know how you can claim discrimination in this case. Is it because she's abroad?
As a woman, maybe?
She's a woman, therefore you're being discriminatory?
Well, if anything, I thought they would argue that it's an incitement to violence, but let it be known, he said he would love to see her getting paraded around, getting excrement thrown at her. He didn't say that he wanted to do it himself. There's a big distinction.
Yeah, that's
I want to
true.
reiterate some of the things he said in his article because it's equally hilarious. He said, one day, Harold, meaning Prince Harry, the glove puppet, will tell the truth about a woman talking bollocks. At night, I am unable to sleep as I lie there grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she is made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her.
Ooh, very scary.
It seems that Meghan has her arms so far up Prince Harry's bottom, she can use her fingers to alter his facial expressions.
Classic Clarkson.
And yes, I hate her on a cellular level is going to live in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know. I think it's funny. And it's also just like everyone knows that scene from Game of Thrones.
Right.
Like,
Which is clearly, it's clearly what he's talking about.
He's a jerk, but it's also kind of funny.
And then Harry and Meghan personally
there.
rejected his apology to the public.
He even offered the apology.
Right, he's already apologized.
Right, because they said this is a pattern of behavior for him. He spreads hate rhetoric and conspiracy theories and misogyny.
He's just based all the time.
Yeah. And then his own daughter denounced him as well. What? Now they're going to throw him in jail. Britain just doesn't have any semblance of free speech.
They really don't.
They said you can't be British in like race cars. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're not allowed to over there.
Yeah.
It's sad to have seen what's been happening in Britain. I don't know if anyone watches the Lotus Eaters, but I watch them all the time, and they said the same thing. It's like you literally can't say anything. If anyone likes, Count Dankula, for instance, is a great example of that. The whole issue where you literally can't make a joke. Even as a working professional stand-up comedian, you can't make a joke and have it be interpreted slightly incorrectly. No matter what you feel about it, you're going to literally be prosecuted.
Well, I saw a quote today. I forget who said it, but it was like tolerance will get to a point where they start punishing the geniuses for like getting upset with the imbeciles.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
It's funny too because there was the stuff about you can get in trouble for what you post on Facebook, so only boomers are at risk because only boomers use Facebook. There some wine mom is posting something mean on Facebook, and therefore the thought police show up at your house a couple of hours later, and as they walk by all the knife crime,
which is so stupid. I know, right? Because dude, how with the with the whole the school shootings that happen in this country, and the kids literally are on Facebook and 4chan and whatever for days before it happens, hinting at it, but they never find that. They just find the wine mom's Facebook comment with 2 likes on it, and they come for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stupid.
True. So this charity Ipso tweeted, "We see evidence of the harm caused by misogyny every single day. We believe the views expressed and language used in Jeremy Clarkson's column contributed to a culture which normalizes violence against women and girls. We welcome news that the Independent Press Standards Organization is taking forward our complaints."
So
if he's normalizing violence against women, that's something you simply can't quantify or prove.
I love the idea that they're out here, like some news reporters, like, well, we're out here and we fully support the idea of violence against women because a bunch of people on the internet said so.
I hate
that's not a thing.
that people are now indicted for normalizing something.
Yeah. Right.
What does that mean?
It doesn't.
Like,
means
even
nothing.
when it comes to Sam
Innocuous.
Smith dressing up as the devil and, twerking at the Grammys, I don't say, oh, he's normalizing Satanism.
Right,
Like,
that's something that I saw posted so many times. I'm like, guys, that's not what's going on.
Well,
it's not that it's normalization of this at all.
I'd also argue it's art. People have already been normalized.
Yeah.
Right.
Or
Have you heard
as
of
they
black
use the
metal? Have you heard of
term.
death metal? Like, it's been around for a while. Like, people are aware that there's a separation, I think, personally. But anyways,
It's purposely unenforceable and unprovable. It's
on both
Yeah.
sides. It happens from people saying on the one side to the other side. It's like, guys, it's like the word normalizing is like, it's so. It's just so useless. It doesn't mean anything.
Details of an individual's race, color, religion, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical or mental illness, or disability must be avoided unless genuinely relevant to the story. So they get to decide what is genuinely relevant. They get to decide, also
he didn't reference any of Megan's immutable characteristics.
but she has them,
anyway.
therefore you can't criticize her. It's
Exactly.
She's a protected class.
I mean, I think
Right.
this whole situation should teach people, like especially public figures and writers, that you should not apologize
Never.
for writing something that is controversial.
Yep.
Never.
Yeah.
And if you feel in your heart that you wronged someone, go to that person. You can't apologize to the world. Apologize to, if he feels he needs to apologize to Meghan Markle, go meet with Meghan Markle and say sorry. But don't post it on Instagram, because then you're just going to ignite the fire all over again, and they're going to come for you nonstop. Like, you apologizing makes their victory even sweeter.
For sure.
Do you think that this is also, like, we've talked before, there was the Alabama Barker ad that got censored by the UK for decency laws, and then we talked about something else recently.
Demi Lovato's album cover.
So maybe this is unfortunately, like, you're somebody who supports decency laws and stuff like that, but this is like the overreach there. Like, there's stuff that works well, but there's also things that go too far, meaning that, like, yes, we'd prefer to not see them sexualize people in a way that's irresponsible, and we'd like to see them you'd like to see them censor the religious, I guess the would that be considered blasphemous? Was the Demi Lovato thing considered blasphemy?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, she's posing as Jesus on a cross.
So this is kind of the other side of that coin, right? Like, you don't know where to stop the censorship or the. Do you understand what I'm saying here?
I mean, I would know exactly where to stop the censorship, and it would allow satire, that's for sure.
But unfortunately here, I don't think that a government organization can work with that type of nuance.
It's funny because, like, if Meghan Markle were still part of the monarchy in any tangible way, then maybe you could justify it as, like, there is some limit to how much, or, like, what you can say about someone in political power.
Even that's worse.
But,
like, those are the ones you should be allowed to criticize.
For a country with a history of a monarchy, at least those standards would make sense.
But
But
I guess I can see that.
now the status she has is even more important than being a royal. It's being a black woman.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
If you are a woman and you are a minority, you have more power than the literal queen, now king.
Yeah. Is she not mixed? She's biracial, I imagine, or is that?
Yeah,
is
she's
that correct?
25%.
25%. Wow.
They're saying exhale all your air before you inhale the helium.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
I'm following as we go. For future.
Someone said
So
that it could kill you, but I looked it up. You'll be fine. You'll be
I think
okay.
you could have saved that thought. But anyway.
Wait, what?
Do you want to move to the super chats?
What?
Is that what you're saying?
Save what thought? Save what
Did
thought?
you want to go to the super
No,
chats?
I'm saying, like, you said you said I could have saved that thought. Save what thought?
About helium.
Oh.
Did you want to go to the super chats?
No. I was just saying it because I'm ADHD and my brain does not
Anything.
work.
I mean, too much water could kill you.
Yeah, anything can.
That's happened.
It's called drowning.
Well,
Everybody has ever heard of that.
that's too little air.
Yeah.
Oh, but you mean like hypernutrient?
Like your cells burst if you drink too much water.
True.
Is there a case of that you can think of that's similar to this in the United States? Like anything like this? Like
Maybe Will Smith after Slapgate, but obviously there weren't legal repercussions for that, even though there should have been.
Was that a year ago?
Yep.
About-
over a
yeah.
year.
over a year. When was it?
We also get people pushing back on
Oscars.
like it's okay when we do it, where people criticize like anybody who, like, even the other night they were saying like they were mad at Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever it was for criticizing Joe Biden after like booing him, something like that. And I'm like, yeah, but these are the same people that like also ripped up Trump's
right after
speech. Right after the State of the Union. It's like, here it's like we at least pay lip service to the idea that you can't actually get in trouble for it, and you don't. But over there you can actually get in trouble for...
Some people think that flag burning should not have legal repercussions, but even that, I would say, is not freedom of expression.
It is. I would say it is freedom of expression.
I would agree.
You just don't like that form of expression.
And that's the point of the country. You know, like is to allow people to do that. It's people are often forgetting.
I mean, if you want to do that in a different country, then
they did an episode of Blue Bloods where it's really funny. They couldn't, like, they wrote themselves into a corner where this kid, he's like an angry Antifa type, and he wanted to do a demonstration where he'd burned flags before, and what he did is, I guess his dad, if I remember the episode correctly, his dad died on 9/11 or something like that. He was like a firefighter or a cop, died on 9/11, and what he did is he, like what Frank does, he's the police commissioner in the show, he moves the ceremony, like where this kid, or he moves the demonstration, like he revokes the permit and like moves the like where he's allowed to have this to like the place where his dad's cemetery is, and in the end the kid decides to like not burn the flag because it would be disrespectful to his dad, if I'm remembering that correctly. And I'm just like, if you're at the flag burning stage of your activism, I don't think it would have stopped him. It never, like, it always felt like that was a really good show about like writing their way. They write both sides of the aisle very well on that show. They always did. But that was one of those ones where like the kid just has a change of personality at the end that made no sense. Like it was completely different.
On flag burning, I think you should just get deported if you do it.
Interesting.
You don't want to be here, then you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, but if you're an American citizen as well, or do you mean is it a particular?
Just get exiled.
But what about like putting it on a T-shirt?
I mean, that's, I guess,
because that would be
substantively different if you're not actively burning a flag.
The T-shirt's eventually going to get thrown away.
I'm just saying, like, if your agenda here is to shit on this country and also not do your civic duty, then you might as well leave.
So I agree with that. Okay, one thing I think is it's really weird. You saw a bunch of people in, I think probably 2006, mid 2000s, who would march with like their country's flag in California, especially with like Mexico's flag, Central American countries' flags, and wave that on the streets in the country. It's like, that is something I disagree with vehemently. I do not think that that's something you should do. I also disagree with like, waving the Confederate flag. Essentially, the Confederacy is like traitorous. You shouldn't be able to. I don't think you should fly that, sir. But burning the American flag is like the way you dispose of the flag. I do think it's different. I understand your exigency saying you shouldn't, if you're going to burn it and disrespect the country. I totally understand it. I do think though, the basis of what free speech is you should be allowed to do things like that. It's hard to accept those things, but you have to be able to accept.
There's a lot of things too that you're not supposed to do with the flag that people abuse left and right. Like it's not supposed to touch the ground. Yeah.
Putting it on clothing that you
you're not supposed to make money off the flag.
Bandanas, etc.
Yeah. So it's like we're doing so many things already to disrespect it.
It's a difficult.
Well, I want to go back to Will Smith right now because
I think he's going to join Slap League.
He should.
Wait, what?
That's brilliant.
He should at least be a spokesperson.
That's so brilliant.
What is that?
The thing that Dana White is doing.
Yeah,
with,
Power Slap.
Power Slap.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Like he's like,
but he's trying to clean up his image right now. He's on Bad Boys 4.
Keep my
wife's name.
But he's got to change it for the thing. He's like, keep my my next movie out your fucking mouth or something
keep
like that.
Bad Boys 4
out your fucking mouth. It's good.
At your mother.
Yeah.
Effing mouth. Well, I mean, for Will Smith, it's obviously different because he did commit a crime rather than just writing a satirical article. And he didn't face any consequences for it except for media backlash, which ultimately you can just sit back and ignore. And he still made the mistake of apologizing in that YouTube video, and it just brought it back into the public consciousness all over again.
Yep.
So I just think, like, celebrities and public figures are not learning from each other's downfalls when it comes to like getting canceled. They're not learning better than to grovel.
We're still very lucky here in America to not have to worry about the government coming in and telling me that I can't insult Meghan Markle. Watch it, we get a knock. All of a sudden we hear, we hear you up there.
I mean, even worse here is that you'll get punished by private corporations anyway.
Well, I was just going to say
that's a fair point.
That's the tricky part, because you're right. There aren't police officers knocking at your door, but as we continue to live more and more life online, the metaverse is getting bigger. We spend most of our days
FBI will just tell
on the
Facebook
phone,
and Twitter.
Well, that's already
silence you.
happening,
Yeah.
and so it's like, and that's where the big scary part is, where people are like, "Oh, it's just the internet. Twitter's not real life." Twitter is real life when people spend 14 of their 24-hour day on Twitter. That is their real life.
The court of public opinion. Once you make an accusation, etc., you're basically already guilty in the eyes of so many people, even if you're not proven. It's just an accusation, but that's seen as like a proven in court situation. You're like, you're guilty of this when you're not really guilty. It's just someone said it about you. It's
The initial accusation has immense power.
Yes,
well,
it
dude,
does.
And I wonder if these people that are so vocal when someone gets charged or accused of something, I wonder if these super vocal activists ever actually then stick around and watch the court case.
Very rarely.
Because like I'm watching that court case down in South Carolina right now, and it's boring. It's long. I know I can skip a day and come back the next day and catch up. But you know what? I want to make sure I know the details.
Amber Heard.
Right. But even with that, you want to know the details. Yep. You want to know what the heck happened so you can formulate a proper opinion.
I've gone back and forth on all this stuff. Especially to what you said. The initial accusation holds so much weight in a society with the attention span of a gnat. Like, I have the attention span of a gnat. It's very dangerous to listen to something that someone says, especially something hyperbolic, and then not at least look for further information, because anyone can claim anything, and that, it's what's the saying? A lie makes it around the world twice before the truth has a chance to put its pants on, and that's the hardest thing to combat. It's not about misinformation as much as it is about our inability to kind of be nuanced with our, we don't do enough work as individuals. It's our job as citizens to be as informed about the things we talk about as possible.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
I think it's more detestable that the media could be paid off to praise Meghan Markle than that Jeremy Clarkson had the gall to simply make fun of her in a very tame way. Actually, he was making a Game of Thrones reference.
Right, it's very obvious.
Again,
put this into perspective,
and it just shows you that we have the, if you want to know who's in charge, who are you not allowed to criticize? You're not allowed to criticize Meghan Markle.
Well, he's also I'm just telling you, British people just have an edgier sense of humor.
Dude,
have you ever watched Ricky Gervais do stand up?
Well, their thing is dark humor and satire.
Even Gervais's atheist humor is it's kind of cringy to me.
I took the bloody Bible and I put it in the bloody fiction section.
It's cringy, and I am an agnostic, but I find it cringe. It's very try hard, where he's like, "Look at me, I'm very anti-religion." I'm like, we get it. That was cool in 20.
He's just another one of those celebrities that hasn't graduated to the reality that we live in 2023.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if anyone else has watched Top Gear for years, I've always been a fan of Clarkson personally, and he's always been like this. He's always made jokes about people.
Do you watch the new
the people on his own show?
Do you watch the new one on Amazon?
The Grand Tour. I've never really had a chance. I've watched one episode of his farm show.
If you like Top Gear, you'll like it. It's a little bit more roundtable discussion. Okay. But yeah, and because it's Amazon Prime and not cable, he's even more.
They were thinking about pulling his content from Amazon Prime as well.
He should be so lucky to not have to be on a platform as awful as Amazon.
He can't earn money anymore.
Did he say the N-word or something a couple years ago? Was that why?
That's literally, they're acting like
was
he was hate criming Meghan Markle.
No. But something happened. He gets into trouble a lot.
If that were the case, it would be mentioned and rehashed in all of these hate articles, right?
I'm gonna look this up.
So he didn't do it.
He did something a couple years ago.
He just has this track record of having a bit of an edgy sense of humor, but
that's what I'm saying.
I don't think he said anything like that.
Can't
even
have
if
an
he
edgy
did,
sense of humor in 2020.
Even if he did say the N-word, should he be robbed of a livelihood for the rest of his life? I don't think so.
No,
I think I think this is what derailed Top Gear on BBC was this controversy.
I forgot what he had done now, but
he dropped the N-word on a taping of Top Gear in 2014, so it was a while ago.
In what context?
I don't know if they ever
was it an insult or was it a song lyric or
I would love to know the context
It's also
of why he was singing.
It's even weirder because he's British. Like, at least if you're American, it's more part of our cultural lexicon.
Here's a story for you. There was a skater from Australia.
Oh no!
What'd he say?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a blank.
And like hard R.
Yes.
Okay. Ooh.
Wait, why? Like that takes forethought.
I think he was just like singing to himself on the set.
What? That's even weirder. What the hell?
Man.
Footage of the incident was posted by the Daily Mirror website. Clarkson recites the beginning of a children's nursery rhyme.
What the
before
frick?
apparently mumbling. So,
wow.
He apologized, but I think that's what ended the Top Gear show.
Interesting.
Dang.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There was a dude who skates from Australia. Very, very like world. There.
Thank you.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I kind of want to leave it for tomorrow, even though tomorrow's not the 300th episode.
Oh, I just put 2 and 2 together.
300. Oh, that's great.
Get it?
Oh,
it's from the movie 300.
Yeah.
That's a hoot and a holler.
I get it now. It's a
Okay,
good one.
I kind of should we leave it for tomorrow, even though it's not the 300th episode tomorrow.
Wait, what?
Should I leave the
same sound? Yeah, we're gonna update it for the next week.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love Brett's mad scientist vibe. Like he's up here with his pipettes and in his white lab coat.
Everyone's downstairs just like quietly working, and all of a sudden the house starts to shake, and they're like, "Oh, Brett must be coming up with more sounds again."
I feel like you would fit in with the Addams family.
Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah.
Which one? Which member of the Addams family?
Gomez vibes.
Is he a Gomez?
Maybe.
Perfect.
Yeah, I could see it.
He's a tinkerer, so whoever.
Oh, that's true.
I do want to tell a story though. So there's a dude. He's from Australia, and he like said the word like not with a hard R, but like he didn't understand.
Well, I mean, if you're Australian, you can't really say the hard R.
Yeah, exactly. But he was like saying it as like a joke to a friend, but he didn't understand the context of like why it's not accept, because he's not from America, so he didn't quite get it, and like he got in trouble for that, and like I don't know if he ever really understood.
Well, now because of the internet, you're expected to have a global consciousness.
It's one of my it's one of my
like the
biggest pet
sensitivities
peeves.
of every culture on Earth.
I watch so many old shows and movies where you're just allowed to not know things. You're just allowed to be like, oh, I don't know. Like you're not allowed to do that anymore.
Wow.
This is actually something that
I don't know that.
No. Exactly.
I saw this Twitch streamer who was black and American, and he had some white European lady like on his stream, and I think he was trying to bamboozle her, but he was like, both of them were like dressed up in Hogwarts uniforms or whatever.
Oh, I saw this. This was hilarious. That's a good streamer.
Yeah, and he like. Moves his wand or whatever, and he does this.
Oh, yes.
He demonstrates for her to copy him, and he says, "N-word, please."
I've seen that.
And then
one.
she did it, and then all the comments are like, "Whoa, she actually said it."
I like the post. So they say they like have his quote and it's regular like text, and then they have her quote and it's italicized.
No,
because she did it like all fabulous. Like she got into it, dude. Like
it's like what was it? J. Cole who brought the lady up on stage, and he like
that's on purpose. Kendrick Lamar did it too.
Kendrick Lamar.
It's happened a few times.
That is. Just
did J. Cole really do that?
It might have been Kendrick.
There's
I thought it was J. Cole.
Because then they send them back out into the crowd where they're going to get
everyone's going to hate them. Yeah. That's
it's a common thing, and like especially when like people like that are in relationships with someone of the like a different race, a lot of times they think that's like a free pass, and it's like a lot of I've heard the story from many people personally.
If you're even thinking
like someone
about
asked for permission
using a certain word in the context of getting a free pass, you kind of lost it. You've lost the plot at that point.
It's also weird, like in South Africa we have the K word and we don't have the N word. I think I've told you about this, Kellen, before. We don't really have the N word, but you also don't hear that word said by anybody. It's very much a not word. You don't say
in
it.
America. So.
Yeah, and in the U.S. it's odd because like people that are black are able to say the word, and everyone else is not supposed to say the word. They're not allowed to. It's such an interesting thing. It
also depends what part of the country, because in like certain parts, like you cannot be black and get like if you're Hispanic,
right, true.
Asian. Sometimes like the culture just like allows you to use the word, and then other parts of the country, no, only people that are black.
Interesting.
So it's a very unique American problem.
Yeah, it really is.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.